The previous video had kind of an introduction to graphing real numbers. I told you a little bit about it, but now we will do some examples and see how this works. So our first example is to graph this set of numbers: -3/4, -1/2, 1/4, and 3/4. So when we're graphing it in this number line, we have that it can be equal to -3/4, which is right here. So since it can be equal, we have the full circle. Now also -1/2, 1/4, and 3/4. So this number line, this graph, actually represents this set of numbers. Our next example is y is less than or equal to -3/4. So let's first have in mind that it can be equal, and since it's less than, we know that we must color the left side. Now m is greater than the square root of 9, and we take the negative of that, and so if we have our number line right here, we can have -4, -3, -2, -1, and 0. And we know that 9 is a perfect square because 3 squared is equal to 9. And so this is actually equal to m is greater than -3. And so since it's greater than, we do not have a greater than or equal, it's just greater. It should be an empty circle, and since it's greater than, we color the right side. Our next example is no longer about graphing. It's about finding the square root of numbers. And so let's see. We have, maybe this is equal to x, let's say. So we have x is equal to plus or minus the square root of 121 divided by square root of 400. So something that you must know is that when you have the square root of a over b, this is equal as having the square root of a over the square root of b. Also, square root of ab is equal to the square root of a times the square root of b. So knowing this, we can actually simplify the square root of 121 divided by 400 into a very easy and kind of friendly number. So we know that this is equal to plus or minus the square root of 121 over the square root of 400. And so square root of 121 is equal to 11. That is something you must know, or you can use a calculator to find that out. And square root of 400 is equal to 20. So we have 11 over 20 plus or minus. So how can we graph this? Actually, having plus minus 11 over 20 is like saying that you have a set and kind of x could be equal to either positive 11 over 20 or negative 11 over 20. So this is exactly like the first example we did in this video. And so let's say that we have this number line. Because of lack of space, I have just done from -6 to 6 with intervals of 3. And I have said that -5.5 is right here in this line, and positive 5.5 is right here. 11 over 20 11 over 20 is negative 0.55. No, negative or positive. And so I'm sorry I didn't even have to mention this. And so it could be this or it could be this. And so we have graphed our solution to this square root.